Okay. Yeah, I know you said that when I looked this way, it was like that was your teenager. I heard you say that was kind of like gross, right? I don't know why you keep trying to like degrade the emotional intelligence. This is heavy metal, just so you know. So don't be getting all fucked up like that. Hey, okay, so there's this story they've been trying to circulate for a long time in my isolation. And, after my little wheelchair knife fucking training last night, I think I have a little bit of a bearing. And if we actually identify where it's supposed to be, then we got to go to that guy whose dad was a plumber, right? Can we appropriately calibrate this? And what was going on around that time the guy was a plumber? Let me tell you something. By now, I would be old enough to run for Congress this year, wouldn't I? The next time shit comes up, I'd be old enough to run for Congress. You understand? It could be my first incoming freshman session. Just so you know. So let's get this straight. So there's supposed to be this story. And the problem is, it might actually be the literal story of a group of young people that I never met and whose parents I never met. And at the time, I had no way of understanding what the situation could have been. But now I do have an understanding. And what the problem is, somebody's trying to say, well, you don't understand that they were a later generation, that you were a prototype from an earlier generation, that I, as a kid, am not actually American. Now, I was a kid, I was born in another country, and at some point there was some sort of nuclear baby swap out shit where they wanted to take babies from certain areas, including areas that had nuclear paradigms, and take them and kidnap them and raise them with another family so that they believed their whole life they were actually from that family and that lineage that was already set up for sabotage as a way to undermine the unconscious of the people from which those children came from. And I've watched it because I saw people adopt babies from another part of the world and then raise those babies in a manner that would most likely have been completely contrary to the context in which their birth parents would have raised them, as a way to socially engineer the countries from whence they came. And we're seeing this play out. I've been seeing it for 5 years. You know, the blue balloon? I know, we don't really know so much about the blue balloon in the United States, or do we? So, did you kill my dad before I met him? And you've been trying for a long time to get me to agree to be transgender so that looking for that little girl would no longer be as viable because I wouldn't be a little girl anymore. And you could just give the little girl programs to other people. And after you've convinced everybody that their little girl, the one they were looking for that was their little girl, doesn't exist anymore, then they'd settle some re engineered paradigm of another kind of little girl. I absolutely believe that's what you did. Now, did you do it to me literally? Well, I mean, ex post facto, I'm supposed to believe it made sense, right? Well, I'm not dead. And I don't want you to sell black little girls any more than I wanted you to sell white little girls, right? Just so you fucking know.